Oh, man.
Yeah. Got SpaceCowboys17 in the house too as well.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Thank you, Law, for having me on.
Oh, yeah. One way or another, right?
Yeah.
And, got Derek too as well. We're going to talk Cowboys. We're going to talk everything you need to know about off-season talk, football in general, what we need to do as far as prospects, what we need to do as far as the approach to the draft, things of that nature. Cowboy 17, Space Cowboy 17. What you got on your mind, man?
Well, man, I don't even know what to say. I mean, to be honest with you, this season has gone awry, and I think the offseason can go any which direction. So, I mean, at this point, I don't know what the Cowboys are thinking on doing. I think they're going to re-sign their defensive players and be quiet in free agency for the most part. Just the same mold from 2016, get bargain basement shopping for people to fill in roster spots and then fill in the draft. So
bargain basement shopping around, thinking that they can fill up the holes that we have out there in this defense and offense with bargain basement players. That's what you're thinking, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I hope they don't have that mentality going into free agency, because I think that you're going to have to go out and get a guy, and you can't just stay silent, because that's been something that the Eagles and the Patriots have done phenomenally well on, pouncing in free agency at the right time. And that's why they were in the Super Bowl this year. So
yeah, so when you do something like that, when you try to figure out making moves, then things happen. So we realized that the philosophy where you pay your own guys. If you go out and reach into your pocket, you pretty much getting a guy that you think that might not step it up, or you may overpay. But what I'm looking at collectively is that I'm thinking that maybe Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones were pretty much saying that, okay, we are snake bitten by Brandon Carr. We are snake bitten by I think this guy named Roy Williams a while back. This is probably way before your time, right?
Which one? The wide receiver or the safety?
The wide receiver.
Okay, I know him. Yeah.
So we had got burned with those contracts. So now when free agency come around nowadays, we kind of sit there and say, okay, well, we can make something happen with our own guys, But as we see the philosophy of how the Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl, we saw how the Patriots won the Super Bowl a while back when they acquired Revis. We saw just recently the Eagles, and then we saw other teams like the Jaguars of the world. We saw the who else was making it up there? I would say the Minnesota Vikings. They really didn't act well. They got a quarterback, and they got somebody else, right? What else they got? A running back, Murray, the Murray guy. So yeah, you got to make moves out there. Okay, we got tons of people in the chat box. Man. Let me move it over, man. Let me move this thing over. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the show. Let me recap this part over, man. Where my chat box at? Bam, there we go. Everybody, whatever you say now is official. It is on wax. It will be out there forever and a day. Dez caught it. Yes, he did, DJ. He did caught it. A hell of a catch. Shout out to Cowboys Legend 27. I'm from the future. You already knew what was going to happen, right? Derek Murrell. Salute to you too as well, Brock Smith. And let's get this thing going again. Got SpaceCowboys17 in the house, man.
Yeah, what is going on, everybody? Shout outs to all my people, my Cowboys family, DJ Crown J, Cowboys Legend 27, Dallas Cowboy Football News. You know what it is.
Yes, bringing the flavor. So go ahead and speak your mind, man. Tell me about the Cowboys, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so to kind of get things started, it's kind of interesting because I'm not even 20 yet, so I've never seen them get to the NFC Championship game or Super Bowl, so I have a different mindset of how I think the Cowboys should approach things for the most part. I think that they have to get some form of an aggressiveness back in terms of the free agent market. I'm not saying go willy-nilly and buy every single free agent out there, obviously, but they got to make moves. I think we do a phenomenal job in the draft that I commend Will McClay for, and he is our GM, and I don't know what else to say. I mean, at this point, I just feel like we're just floating in the ocean and we're not going anywhere until we make moves. So,
so floating in the ocean until we make moves. So I got some people in the chat box talking about Charles Haley. What are your thoughts on that? Did you hear what he said about the Cowboys?
Yeah, and how we're a bunch of losers.
Yeah, so by you being born in the late 90s, right? Is it correct?
Yes, I was born 98, yeah.
All right, so by you never being able to see us win, how do you feel about what he said? You know, do you think that we are losers? Is this more of a Jerry Jones situation, or this is just a coaching problem, or what is it?
Let me put it to you this way. I feel the Cowboys have a roster that can make a Super Bowl run. I just feel that this roster is like, what was it? Jason Garrett wants to instill this 90s philosophy of power run game doesn't matter. But the problem is from what I've seen in that 90s philosophy, it's more so personnel versus scheme. So what my thing is that we can't rely on everyone staying healthy. You know, people are going to get hurt. You got to get depth, and we got to get better coaching, man. But I know that I'm not stupid. I'm aware Jerry Jones is the big guy in charge. So there's nothing going to change until he's gone. So
nothing going to change at all. So change you cannot believe in, right? Yes, indeed. So I got some people saying, like my little brother in the house too as well, my little big brother. Hope you guys can probably see him when he come down. His name is Ryan. He in the house too as well. Shout out to you too as well. He's a 49er fan. I'm gonna just let that out the hat right now. But neither here nor there. 49er fan, y'all saw what happened to Reuben Foster, right?
Yeah, I mean, man, look at what happened to Kareem Hunt. Where's that investigation?
Oh, yeah, let me talk about that a little bit. You know, I tweeted out that breaking news: Kareem Hunt will not be suspended for zero. There would not be a year-long investigation because of the simple fact that he don't play for the Dallas Cowboys. My thing is, before I lose my mind on this, I know that domestic violence is a key issue in the NFL. I know that it's a sticky topic, but at the same time, if a woman get hit, hell, whether it's soft or hard, the woman still got hit. So I want to know where are all of these women rights groups at? You know, they are to blame with this too as well, because they are not out here out crying talking about this guy has hit this lady or what have you. And then on top of that, the double standards of it. You know, this guy wasn't arrested or what have you, but guess what? Ezekiel Elliott was not arrested. So I'm waiting. I want this situation to happen to him too as well. Not saying an eye for an eye, but come on, you know what I mean?
At least something.
At least something, you know. I'm yet to hear First Take, Undisputed, anybody talk about this. Have you guys heard anything of that? Have you heard the noise, the campfires, or anything like that?
In regards to Kareem Hunt?
Right.
I haven't heard a thing other than he did something. I haven't heard anything of a opening of an investigation, him getting a fine, him getting suspended, nothing.
See, agreed.
See, my God, Eric get back in the house too as well. Hey man, this show is off the chain. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys for following the show for a long time. But the thing is, when we talking about the National Football League, it's supposed to be an even process. It's supposed to be parity amongst every team that's in the NFL. But we look at what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are doing, right? Nothing, right? But we look at what Tom Brady has been doing for the last, 10 to 15 years. Going to the Super Bowl, making it to the playoffs, playing against a team that's pretty much in that division, only team that gave him a threat in his 15, 16-year career out there, or what was it, 18, 19 career, was the Jets at times, and maybe you can throw out the Bills, maybe.
Well, the Dolphins.
Well, Dolphins did make the playoff last year.
It's just been a weak division. So, I mean,
anything yet? We got James in the house.
All right.
Oh, am I in here officially?
Man, you officially, man. There you go, buddy. Mama, there go that man again. My God, hey, he don't need no introduction, but I want you to introduce yourself, man. Go ahead.
Hey, it's been a long time, man. I feel like, I'm around all these lovely people. My name is Big Game James, coming from Silver and Blue Nation. We started out about a year, being, going strong. Now I'm rubbing elbows with all these top dogs. I feel so special in my life.
Oh, man, tell them where they can find you at on the front end, because a lot of people probably don't know you on the YouTube world. But, man,
right.
If they go and check out the Facebook world, my God, man, tell them where they can find you at, man. Tell them about the Facebook page.
Hey, check us out on Silver and Blue Nation. You just type in Silver and Blue Nation. It'll come straight up. You can go to our Facebook page. And if you also want, you can go to my Facebook page, Big Game James page. Just type in Big Game James. It'll come up. We just, like I said, we're just doing our thing. Cowboys football, Cowboys all day. And we talk the real. We don't just talk all that good unicorns and rainbows. Everything's going to be great in Cowboy world. We talk the real. And if you don't like it, hey, that's just the way it is. But we got to talk the real about what's really going on with them Cowboys and not the fantasy world.
Yes, and normally I keep the Joe PG-13, but let me tell y'all this, man. Take the kids, put them to bed. We got to talk some football tonight, man. We got to talk some football, man. Kids, go to bed. I'm telling you right now, we got to talk about what Charles Haley said. We got to talk about what this doggone. Come on now. We got to talk about what we're going to do in the draft. We got to talk about what Jerry Jones is doing. We got to talk about this National Football League and how they just dropping the ball with. I think even Alvin Kamara had something going on. I think Kareem Hunt, you got something going on, right? Jarvis Landry, all these cats out here is getting in trouble, and we have yet to hear a 1 ounce of our odor of a word from the NFL, from the ESPNs of the world, and Undisputed. We haven't heard anything from Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, if that's even still alive, Twitter, Twitch. We haven't heard nothing, man. Talk to me, man.
Hey, y'all. Hey, well, I mean, for me, you already know it's always been the Cowboys. Even with Jimmy Johnson, anytime we did anything with the Cowboys, we were always going to be in the limelight. We're a lightning rod, and especially now because it's kind of like they kicking us when we down. So anything that we do, any kind of little thing, since we ain't won nothing, they just love to pile it on us and throw, oh, you ain't won in 20 years, so now you just got nothing but criminals, and y'all just a terrible organization because they just hate. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they're 800 years old. We still have more rings than everybody. And at the end of the day, people still don't like that. So they will use anything to go against us. San Francisco got 5 Super Bowl rings. They don't say nothing about them. Foster over there doing reckless stuff over there. Reckless. You over there being reckless, and you ain't even get a Goodell, we ain't even getting a nothing. We ain't even getting on. Stephen A. Smith is the first one to always talk about something going crazy. We ain't heard Stephen A. Smith saying nothing about no daggone Foster.
Yes. And then I haven't heard the other lady, Molly. She's on TV crying. Oh, he hit the girl.
Just the ladies.
Don't touch the lady. I'm waiting. I'm sitting here at the edge of my TV come on, lady. I'm waiting for you to hear say something about this Jarvis Landry stuff. I'm waiting for you to talk about this Kareem Hunt situation. But I guess it don't affect her that way, you know.
Yeah. And sorry to cut you off, but in terms of what James said about this notoriety the Cowboys have gained through the popularity of the 90s, hey, I'm a post-dynasty child, so I have not seen the Cowboys be great. In my lifetime, it's just been mediocrity in my lifetime. Oof. And I hate they say that because, you got my parents going man, I remember, well, exception of my father because he's a Steelers fan, I know. But I remember when they would just destroy teams left and right. They were just unstoppable. And then what am I supposed to tell my kids if we're still on the same path? Oh, yeah, I remember that one season we won a playoff game.
Yeah, you got it bad, bro. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, so I got a chance to see 3 Super Bowls. I was so young when it happened, but I was there, but my God, man, you haven't seen not one. Now I'm gonna tell you, man, this guy right here, SpaceCowboys17. That's what you're talking about, a true Cowboys fan, right?
Yeah,
for real. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was just thinking about that today. I was thinking dang, anybody who was born after 95 or whatever, and they're Cowboys fans now, they have to be those might be the true fans because they've been through no kind of winning, no kind of consistency, no tradition that, I'm 45. I seen them. I didn't get to see the first one with Staubach, but I saw the one where when we beat the Broncos and all the way through, and I took the heartbreaks when the Steelers was smacking us up in them daggone 70s. I used to cry all the time. And then I seen them 80s when we fall off. But for somebody now who's saw it in the 90s, yeah, you're a true fan because you ain't seen nothing but mediocrity and Jason Garrett and Wade Phillips and Dave Campo and Chan Gailey. Lord have mercy, help you, right? Help your soul.
To make matters even worse, I'm not even from Texas. I'm from South Jersey, brother.
Ooh,
Billy country.
You triple get it.
Yeah, you know.
Somebody buy him a ticket, man. Get him to the game.
Oh, Lord, he definitely. Hey, if we win the Super Bowl, you're gonna be first and foremost. I'm giving shout outs too.
Right. Yes,
listen,
indeed.
I'm so hard of a diehard fan. On my channel, I unveiled that I bought a replica Lombardi and I stored it in a box, and I'm opening it the minute we win the Super Bowl.
Better get rid of Garrett first.
Yeah.
Oh man. So that break it down. We finna move it over to the topic. Jason Garrett. What are your thoughts on Jason Garrett? I want you to go first, Big Game. Then I let Space goes after you, man.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be first to say about Jason Garrett. I'm not going to jump on like the train because a lot of people are on Garrett, but I'm going to be very honest with you. When we hired Garrett, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't excited about the hire with Garrett. He just wasn't that type of coach where I felt like he was going to lead us to the promised land. But I felt like, you know what? He's a Cowboys coach. I'm going to roll with it, and I'm going to see what he brings to the table. I'm going to tell you right now, my sister can't stand Jason Garrett. Like, she has a serious hate for him. And I used to try to back him up like, come on, sis. Look, he's okay. He's okay. Give him time to build a program. Give him time to build a program. And then I would see us 5-3. And then we have the December swoon. And then we miss the playoff, 2011. We be winning again and then fall off again. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, in my head, like, what's wrong with this guy? But here's the thing about with Jason Garrett to me. As far as him being a person that can build a program, I think he can do that. As far as putting things together, meticulous, putting plans, game plans together, being that meticulous type person, I think he's good. But I think where he fails is when he gets on the game day situations, because he takes so long to process information, because he thinks so much. When things happen right then and there, it's like he can't make that quick decision. And I think that's what hurts us so many times in these games. And let's be honest, since he's been coached, do you ever feel when you sit down and watch a Cowboys game that we're ever just going to win the game? No, you're sitting on the edge of your seat every single game because you're worried if we get a lead in the second half, it's going to come back and we're going to be sitting on the edges of our seat in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left in the game thinking, please get this touchdown or please stop the ball. And it's every single game and every single year. He's just not the guy. And I'm not trying to hate on him, but after 8 years, you are what you are.
There you go. There you go, Derek. I saw your face pop up, man. I want you to go next, man. Hey, you spit the fire. I'm gonna retort, man, at the end. But Derek, I want you to go and see, because I know you had an article. You guys can go find it on the website, the DallasProspect.com. You can find out the article of what the Jason Garrett, how his lineage is attached to the Cowboys. But Derek, give me your thoughts on Jason Garrett.
Man, my situation with Garrett has always been pretty straightforward. I agree with James and everything he said. The main thing I have with Garrett, I don't think he's good at making in-game adjustments, and I don't think that he's good at making adjustments, sometimes even year to year. If something worked one year, he never goes back and makes adjustments for it, whether it's a player out, like the entire 2015 season, basically, whether it's a player out or whatever. We don't try and change our game plan at all to fit the players that we have. And as a result, the offense kind of becomes stagnant and all that. And back until the offseason. It's the offseason when you actually see them actually apply a change. And that's why they are hot for a year, cold for a year, hot for a year, cold for a year. We hadn't had back-to-back 10-win seasons since, like, I think 98. I mean, it's something. No, you know what? I think there's one in the early 2000s now that I think about it. I can't say the year off the top of my head, but I think there is one since then. But the point is, for about a decade, we haven't been able to win 10 games in back-to-back seasons. And that's not just everyone talks about like first place schedule versus last place schedule. That makes an impact, sure. But, if we don't have like the Zeke suspension this past year, and if, in games like the Atlanta game, we make any adjustments at all, we're probably looking at, another 11, 12 win season. It just boils down to being able to make adjustments with the talent you have. And you just have to be able to adjust. And I don't ever see that from him. And as a result, we go hot, we go cold, we bounce back. That's nice, but it keeps him hanging around, which drives, I think, the majority of the fan base crazy. And, you know, that's like his whole thing. You referenced the article on the website that Micah wrote for us. That's the same kind of thing. He talks about, you know, the Garrett family kind of connection to the franchise and everything like that, and how overall it's really been an underwhelming kind of, you know, run for Garrett in any level with the Cowboys, whether it was as a player, as a coordinator, as a coach, whatever. But because he can mix in a couple decent years, his connection and everything with the family kind of keeps him within that goodwill. And so it just keeps this vicious cycle going.
Same mundane thing over and over again.
Vicious, dirty, evil cycle.
Space, man. What are your thoughts on? Well, he's been your coach, Space, since you was what, like 11, 12?
Yeah. Hashtag not my coach. Let me tell you something. Whoever thinks Jason Garrett is a good coach is out of their mind, because I'm not. It infuriates me. Like, I can understand that once he has a personnel in place, he somehow does great. But you mean to tell me you have a coach that wets the bed when his players get hurt and he can't make any adjustments until the very end's like, oh, well, I mean, it's just a process. I got 5 packs of gum to make sure that I get through the game. You know, I gave him 4 years to do what he had to do, and 2014 was the breakout year. And I was like, okay, maybe we're going somewhere. And then it all fell apart. And I'm so annoyed at like this idea of, oh, we're average and then we'll be good, then bad, then good, average. I just want consistency. I don't want consistency and mediocrity, though.
Yeah, yes. That's what we got.
And then we go back to the 2014 situation with Dez Bryant, catch no catch situation. I always look at that game. It was destined for us to almost pretty much lose the game. DeMarco Murray fumbles the ball. Our kicker misses the kick. You know, what else happened in that game for us? I think it was something else. What else happened?
JJ Wilcox is terrible and missing bad angles that game. I mean, even when we were stopping them, we actually had the lead, and then when Devontae Adams caught that pass and JJ Wilcox took that terrible angle and he scored that touchdown, that just really hurt us.
Did Scandrick mess up too as well out there? Did Scandrick
I don't know. I don't remember Scandrick playing in that game, messing up that game. I just remember Aaron Rodgers with a bad calf, running, doing whatever he wanted to, and it was just making no sense to me. This dude was scrambling. I remember I think when he threw that first touchdown, he scrambled for like 5 seconds limping. And I'm like, what is going on? He's limping.
As soon as Murray fumbled that ball, I knew we were going to lose. And I hate to say that, but it's just like
we're jinxed.
No, like, and especially this last playoff game, I was like, I just have a feeling we're going to choke this one. I don't feel like we're going to. And I hate to be like that. Like, I hate to be that guy that's like, guys, I just don't have confidence in this guy. Like, I don't think we can win a game until we get this guy out of here.
He got to get out of here, because I remember vividly. Y'all remember watching the Alabama win the championship this year, right? Mm-hmm. You remember when Nick Saban was on the sideline, because somebody tried to make the comparison of Nick Saban to Jason Garrett of all people, but where you get the clapping from. And on the sideline, I'm sitting here watching Nick Saban literally lose his mind. You know what I mean? When the Hawaiian Punch kid ran all the way back to the other side of the field and got a sack, and he lost his mind. You know what I mean? That's what I really miss, that passion. I miss that type of mantra on the sideline from our head coach. I want a coach that can, when Dez Bryant, I know Cowboys apologists. I mean, not Cowboys apologists. Dez Bryant's apologist. This is in the chat box. But when Dez Bryant was losing his mind on the sideline against the Seattle Seahawks, I think we was up 9-0. Go back and watch the game. We was up 9-0, and Dez losing his mind. And my football coach would have came up to me and said, "You know what? You're doing all that pouting, you can put that out in the field. That's temperament that you can have out there on the field. But since you want to act like a cheerleader, go get the pom-poms." You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I need a coach that can identify with the players, not calling Dez Bryant a cheerleader. But at that point, when he was pouting, when we was up 9-0, at that point, that's when I said, damn, man, I'm losing faith in Dez, man. At that point, that's when I lost faith in Dez. not to get on the Dez situation, but that's what I'm talking about. A real coach be able to sit Dez down and say, this is what you need to do.
Yeah, man, get someone that's like, man, if it was me in that situation and after Dez fumbled that ball, and then, man, I would have been like, get your sorry behind on that bench for a series. I don't care. I need him to – and people think I'm being harsh. It's like, no, I want him to contemplate what he did and then use that passion on the football field.
Well, see, but here's my thing with the Dez Bryant thing, and not even just that. Even when we had Greg Hardy, that was a situation that really stood out in my mind, because remember when we played the New York Giants and we had a chance to beat them, and I believe Dwayne Harris ran that kickback after we just scored. Castle threw that touchdown the street, and it was looking good, like we were back in the game, and I was like, okay, we can do this. And then they ran all the way down the field. Harris took it all the way down for the touchdown. Now, Greg Hardy went off in that huddle and pushed, I believe, the special teams coach. And it was a big old thing about it, big, huge thing about it. And guess what? You never heard anything about – did you see Jason Garrett go over there and say anything about Greg Hardy? Did you see in the press conference at the end of the game, did he say anything about Greg Hardy? No, it was Jerry Jones taking over about the Greg Hardy situation. It was never Jason Garrett. And so for me, if I'm a player in that locker room and I see my coach and them not saying anything to a player that can just push another coach and go off, come late to meetings and do whatever he wants, and then he maybe gets a fine, that right there tells me that's not a leader of men. That's not a leader of men. You might be a good coordinator. That might be your forte, but you're not a guy that's a leader of men that's going to lead the Cowboys or any other team, in my eyes, to a championship. I just don't see Jason Garrett holding up a Lombardi trophy saying, we did this. No, I don't. Maybe if you were a coordinator, I could maybe see you helped out, but you being the ultimate man, no, because at the end of the day, you just don't have that authority. And if you're coaching in the National Football League, you need the respect of those men. Now, I'm not saying they don't respect him, but I'm saying you can see sometimes it just feels like, man, the team, I don't know if it just feels like they just kind of just let go sometimes. It's just like, we're just an accident waiting to happen. And
buddy, Stephen A. Smith. God dog.
It's the truth. It's the truth. It's like when I watch my team, Space Cowboy, when you were saying those things, when I watch my team, I don't want to be pessimistic. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the hater. But then when I watch them, when we played the Green Bay Packers and they jumped on the 7-0, I said, here we go. Yep, it's over.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to feel that way. But when a team jumps on us real quick, I said, it's over.
It's over.
So just I want that dude, that one guy that could just get into. Now, I'm not saying just be that like consistent, like, insulting the players. No, I just want some guy that can take control of this team and be like, guys, or whoever it may be that's not performing. Like, someone misses an assignment, get your sorry rear end on the bench for a series. I don't care, because you need to learn to do your job and do it right. I don't care.
Let me ask you guys this. Is that the Jerry Jones effect? Because what if he actually did it? Would Jerry Jones say anything? Like, I feel like that's the issue as well, because who has the real authority? Do you really think the players really think Jason Garrett has authority?
Jerry would put Jason on the bench.
Come on.
Jerry has the pants on in the relationship.
If you're a player, because I was a player, and I'm sure we all play sports. And if you're a player and you see the top person can go over your coach, just like if you're working at a job, you're not going to respect your boss. You're going to be like, okay, I like you, but I'm still going to try to get over. I'm still going to try to do things, because at the end of the day, I don't really feel anything is really going to happen to me.
And guess what? I believe to say this, Stephen Wonder can see that T. Will got outplayed and outpositioned by Bryce Butler. And everybody in the chat room, everybody knows that Bryce Butler last year was a better receiver than T. Will. If it have not been so, let me know. Tell me how T. Will was the number 2 receiver in this offense. Tell me how. Tell me how.
Tell him, Derek.
Yeah, tell him, Derek. We're letting you speak. You're just in there quietly.
Yes,
you want me to explain the T. Will thing?
Yeah, explain the T. Will T-Rex alligator arm guy.
Mr. Body Catch Sweet Feet. It's a weird combination, kind of. Man, I don't know what to make of T. Will and why his effectiveness has dropped off so much. 2 years ago, he was pretty solid Dak's first year. He was still pretty solid aside from, a couple mental blunders like the first Giants game getting out of bounds, or rather not getting out of bounds. This year, outside of the Kansas City game, man, it was like he wasn't even out there. Bryce Butler at least could make a few athletic grabs, but man, T-Will, they gave him that contract, and I know it was overall a team-friendly contract, but it's still one of those things where it's like he got paid and production just fell off on the mountain, and I don't know what the fix is for that in that case. I don't know if it's as simple as just changing up a little bit of the route tree. We know the talk with the Cowboys. Derek Dooley, the receiver coach, that it was kind of very basic route running trees and everything that they gave him. Like Dez has like 3 routes. Whether that played a factor in it, whether it was just a little bit of play calling, or then in the latter part of the season as Dak kind of got shaken after that Atlanta game, if that played a factor, I don't know. All I know is he had one game where he looked great, and every other game, man, I forgot he was out there most of the time.
Yes, indeed. Let me chime in on this too right here. If you just take back the 2 pick sixes from, I guess from the LA Rams game, right? You take that off the table, we might win that game. I'm not trying to be delusional and all this stuff, but if you take that away, that's 6 points. It's hard to get 6 points in the National Football League, and I know we didn't lose by 6 points. You see what I'm saying? So if you take that off the table, and if you take the Green Bay Packer game, because there was another pick 6, if you take those 2 plays off the table, because the ball hit him on the body, did it? Did you guys saw the same game that I saw?
It hit him right there.
Hit him right there on the body. And I don't care how it went, it hit him on the body. And then the ball went backwards the other way. If you take those 2 plays off the table, do we still win those games? Do we get into the playoff? It's so many variables when you're talking about a player that can't catch the ball with his hands. And that's just a problem. We caught all our players. We hold on to them for dear life. And I love Jason Witten. We hold on to Jason Witten to dear life. We're going to hold on to Dez Bryant for dear life. We're going to hold on to T-Will for dear life. And we're just going to hold on. Cole Beasley might stay here for the next 2 or 3 years. Who knows? We're not going to change this offense. So the only thing that we can pray and hope on and lean on with all our faith, hope, and confidence is Zeke the Freak. Zeke, somebody find Zeke a lady so he can just stay with her, because that's the only thing that we can lean on, right or wrong.
Look,
Zeke strikes me as the one's not enough kind of guy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You don't even look like he'll ever settle down.
Look, all I'm going to say is that we got to – now, I'm not saying don't be loyal to your players, but – stop it with this coddling of the players. Like, I don't give a crap if it's Dez, if it's Witten, if it's your offensive lineman, heck, if it's your running back or it's your quarterback. I understand everyone has a variable in this offense or the defense itself as well, but people have to stop trying to coddle certain players and not holding them accountable for certain actions. And that's what gets me irritated is like, if you're going to hold on to a guy or not try to transition from a guy to someone that could possibly be more talented, that's where I have an issue with. Stars more important than the players.
So. Yes, indeed. You guys, James, what you thought, man? What your thoughts, man? Let's just talk some draft, Dad. You want
to talk about my Texas players, man?
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Get to it.
There's a guy that wears number 4, and I want you to give me all of the insights of this guy that wears number 4 for the Texans.
Oh, okay, now I listened to you. I watched your breakdown on him. Boy, you was geeked up on some Deshaun Elliott. I was watching you.
I want the good. Hold on. I don't want all the sweet stuff. I want the good, the bad, and the
I'm going to give you all that. I'm not giving you all the good. I'm going to give you the real. All right. So. Deshaun Elliott, this was really his first full year starting, first team All-American. He played a lot last year, but didn't start. I think he only started 1 game last year, but he came through as a breakout, first team All-American, 6'2", 205 pounds. Now, if you look at his stats, now I got all his stats. He has 63 tackles this year, 8.5 for loss, 106 total tackles in 3 years. Now, here's the good about Deshaun. I mean, he has 6 interceptions as well. Here's the good about Deshaun. He's aggressive. If you watch how he plays, he's very aggressive. I feel like he's a leader because he made a lot of calls on the defense as far as the back end. So he was really good as far as getting the guys in their position. He's not afraid to mix it up, and he's a good coming downhill to hit you, and he's not afraid of contact. The only problem I have with Elliott is he does not have the greatest hips as far as switching and turning. So if you saw games where he got those interceptions, a lot of them were in his hands. They were thrown to him. It wasn't a situation where he was playmaking with it. And I just feel like if you put him on a safety and a safety can get him in space and a safety has wiggle, he's going to struggle. If you get him in space because he doesn't have good change of direction. So if somebody catches the ball in front of him and does a quick juke on him, I don't feel like he has the good hip turn to make open his hips and turn and go with them. Now, straight line, he is good. But as far as being in space and being a tackler in space, that's what I worry about, especially being on the next level. A lot of people saw the glitz and glamour of what he did because that USC game, he kind of blew up, so everybody kind of rode that. But if you really look down at the inside of it, I don't feel like he should be a top pick. Actually, I felt like he should have went back to school and stayed another year to hone his craft, because I feel like he may get overdrafted because of his athletic skills. But as far as the awareness and the true athletic ability as far as hips, I feel like that's going to be a problem for him going against tight ends and fast receivers. I think that's going to be a problem when he gets into the NFL.
So that's his cons right there. So he don't have the hips to cover well to tackle well out in space or get good angles. So are you talking about more of a probably out in space, a Byron Jones 2.0, or I know he tackled better. I don't put him in the same breath of tackling as Byron Jones, because Byron Jones.
I think he's a better tackler because, you know, Byron Jones, he don't want that contact. Now, when you watch Deshaun Elliott, he will stick his nose in. He comes in like a heat-seeking missile. When he sees the play, he comes in with reckless abandon. My problem is, like Byron Jones, I feel like Byron Jones is a better athlete than him as far as with his hips. Because Byron Jones, if you look at Byron Jones is an out-of-this-world athlete. Well, nobody's questioning his athletic ability. The problem with Byron Jones we put him as safety. He's not that tackler. He needs to be up on a guy, press coverage, because that's what Byron Jones is. He's not a guy that's going to get you tons of interceptions, but if you put him on that good press coverage, he's sticky and he's going to stay with that receiver. And you're going to have to be a great quarterback and throw that ball in a tight window. And like I said, with Elliott, he has a lot of great characteristics. Size, 6'2", 205 pounds. You always want that because you see safeties at 5'11", 6 foot. So you love the size. My thing is that I worry about him getting drafted higher than he maybe is right now. Maybe he gets drafted in a second or third round because of the credentials of being an All-American. But I don't think that he's really ready for that stature as far as draft. I think he actually should be drafted a little bit lower, because I'm telling you, if you put him in a starting position now in the NFL with those NFL receivers, I feel like he's going to struggle with that hip, with his hips and opening those.
So you got Frazier as a better prospect, already in the NFL. Frazier's just going to be better in that position as far as strong safety with the Cowboys. So we should put our reservations on him, right? That's correct.
I don't know if we should put our reservations on Frazier. I think the ultimate type guy, I don't know if you guys seen a kid named Armani Watts. He's really good from Texas A&M. Also, Marcus Allen from Penn State. He's also got a lot of good range. I think the biggest thing that we need is a thumper that has some kind of range. Now, I like Kayvon Frazier because you can set him in that box, and a lot of times they were moving him closer to the box like Barry Church. But when you had him in coverage, you saw that lacking. We need to kind of find a guy that can do twofold. I mean, the guy that people have been talking about with Dallas possibly in that first round too is Derwin James. That's the type of guy that we need. Honestly, if you're looking at a safety and that caliber, that type of guy that can change our whole defense. Because when you get a guy like that that's athletic and do everything, he makes the job easier for everybody else.
I agree 1,000%. Shout out to Vaj Lombardi in the house too as well. Hey, he said Elliott is a late third round guy, maybe. So, but when you're talking about the Derwin James kid, that guy, oh my goodness.
That boy is fire. I mean, just watching him, and you're looking at a dude that's 6'3", 220 pounds, and he holds that weight well. He's just, now that's where I was saying, Law, when I'm talking about those hips. Now you see the distinct difference from a Derwin James. That boy can just turn, open his hips, and follow and trail anybody. And he can lower that boom on you. That's the type of guy you need. And then when you got Chris Richard in the fold, as far as what he can bring to the table, as far as coaching up any kind of players, man, whoo, that gets me excited as far as our secondary, what we're going to be looking forward to.
My goodness, man. So who else on the Texans that we guys want to pull up? Derek, who else you got in mind?
I was definitely very interested in hearing about more about Malik Jefferson. The tape and everything I saw, he looks like he just jumps right off, always around the ball. I really like that. Can definitely lay the wood. I'm curious to get your thoughts. My experience with him is really limited to about the Red River rivalry game. So,
and we've been losing those. And I don't like.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. You really should have lost that last game. Y'all got lucky because we were just doing just goofy things. We just kept you on the game. Y'all really lost that game. Really watched the game. You lost. You did. You did. You did. You did. Anyway,
but we still have the hat. So
I'm gonna switch up now. Just let it go. Now, as far as Malik Jefferson, now here's the thing with Malik Jefferson. Now, I'm gonna tell you, all out of everybody that's coming out of Texas this year, y'all gonna be surprised of my person I'm high on. I like Malik Jefferson, but let me tell you something. 6'3", 240 pounds, has all the measurables. All-American, second team All-American, had 233 total tackles in his 3-year career. Awesome. But if you really watch Malik Jefferson, if you really watch him, he gets washed out a lot. He can't. There's a lot of times he doesn't have, to me, that dog mentality at a middle linebacker.
I don't want him. I don't want him. I'm looking for some dogs, baby. I don't want no chihuahuas. I don't want no puppies.
I'm just keeping it real.
Go, keep it real with me, man.
I'm just keeping it real. Like, he's playing middle linebacker, and you get enamored with the athletic ability. You get enamored with it. And in the Big 12, they don't play defense in the Big 12. They don't play none. So you can get away with looking like better than you are in the Big 12 because there's not a lot of defense that goes on in the Big 12. And if you really watch him, he gets washed out by blockers. And a lot of times he comes in kind of soft on the hits. And I just feel like he doesn't have that dog mentality for the middle linebacker in the NFL. He'll be a great athletic player. He'll be somebody that'll be good if he plays off people. But if you're putting him at a middle linebacker to call everything, I just don't think he's that guy. I just don't think he has that mentality. I think the athletic ability overweighs that. The person that I really like that nobody really talks about is Holton Hill. That is my favorite player.
Yep.
Problem is that he gets in trouble too much. But if you really look at Holton Hill, 6'3", 200-pound quarterback, he has all the traits that you want. This dude, before he got kicked off the team, and it's nothing to brag about, he got kicked off the team, 51 tackles, 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown. The dude was monstering it this year, and I'm telling you, he could be that guy. But once again, when you have those discipline, you have those red flags, those NFL teams are going to look at it and it's going to drop you. But if you get him in a 6th round or a 7th round because he's dropped, man, you got a steal.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. What about this
You
other
have
guy?
a steal. Long. Listen to what I tell you. Holton Hill is a steal.
I'm going to look him up. Man. Definitely
Look him
will.
up. He's physical. Now you know how Marinelli and he likes our corners to tackle. He wants our cornerbacks to be able to play, be able to get in that space and make tackles. Watch how he comes. He comes hard and he comes like an animal, and he's physical and he wraps up. He's not one of those guys that just looks for the big hit. He actually wraps you up. The thing is, he just has to trust his technique more because he gets a little grabby. But man, 6'3", 200-pound quarterback dog, and they can really run and has the mentality. That's the guy that you want.
Which game you want me to focus on that he played against?
He played the first 9 games. So if you really want to look at some really good tape, honestly, that USC game he turned out. He played. We played against early Baylor. He played good in that Baylor game.
And which game he played bad in? I want a good game and a bad game.
I'll give you a bad game.
Real talk. Bad game and a good game.
I'll give you a bad game. I believe when we played Maryland, I believe he went against DJ Moore. DJ Moore kind of ate us up that game. That's how I really found out about DJ Moore, because I kind of didn't know about him all like that. But he kind of killed us, and Maryland kicked our butts that game. So that's a game where he kind of got shown out because, like I said, sometimes he doesn't trust his technique and he gets kind of grabby. So I think that's really his biggest issue. But if you're looking at all the athletic traits that you want in a cornerback, he meets all those.
What is it about that tackle guy you guys got? What is it, Corner?
I believe Connor Williams. Yes. Now Connor Williams, I actually put a video where he was manhandling some kid, pushed him on the ground, put him. I mean, I was getting excited. That's how I want to tackle somebody. If I can hit somebody, that's why I want to put him in the ground. Now with Connor Williams, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't no offensive tackle dude. Like I don't know the offensive guys on the line like that. Like don't sit there and let me front to you like I know. Oh, let him false step. But I will tell you, his sophomore year was better than his junior this past year because he was injured a lot. But if you're looking at the tackle position, I think he's going to be okay. But to me, he reminds me kind of like Jake Matthews with the Atlanta Falcons. Hyped up good, but I don't really think he's just that real deal. I think he's good, but I don't think he's going to be great.
Possible swing guy next level, or you
swing guy, but I don't think he's going to be that dominant guy on the next level. You got to understand, Texas, even though we had a good year with our players, I just feel like we had a lot of athletic guys, but guys that really weren't game changers, which I feel like our recruiting class that we have coming in, we have more game changers coming on that. So we'll see.
No doubt, man. That was the Texas rundown, man. Hey, what y'all team gonna do next year, man? Before I get off to Texas, man. What your team gonna do next year, man?
Gonna be good, dog. We just got the third. We rated third in recruiting in the nation, and we first of all, you saw how we did. We got Herman. We won. We got a winning season. We won our bowl game. That's what recruits see. When recruits see that, guess what? We had Charlie Strong 3 years. We get a new coach. We have a winning season. We win a bowl game. And the biggest thing to me is, I don't know if y'all watched that bowl game, but when he was making fun of that quarterback throwing up his symbols like that, them kids love that type of stuff. Kids watch coaches, and when they see a coach that can get into it like that and have that little hip side, that makes kids gravitate toward your program, and that makes them say, you know what, I want to come to this program. I want to get them back on their winning ways. And if you look at a lot of guys that committed to Texas, that's the number one thing they were saying. We love Herman. We love what he brings to the table. We love his energy, and we want to get Texas back to where it needs to be.
Damn, boy, you laid the fire, man. I like to hear that. Space, man, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. Listen, man, it seems like I'm in like another country because because it's funny because I'm a Penn State fan. I'm not as like involved in the college football per se, but I do occasionally watch it. So,
hey, Saquon at that 19 pick, what would you do?
Man, I'm sorry, Zeke. You got it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man, that would be crazy, won't it? Won't it be crazy? All right, so hey, as we got like 10 more minutes left on the docket there. I did a video top 5 like dream picks, right? If you guys can start off with Space, give me your top 5 dream scenarios, whereas we can go. We're not just gonna do the first round. We're gonna do the first and the second round. I want to hear your thoughts on your top 5 cases of picks that you can have if it come to you. If it's the 19 pick, and what we got, the 50, what's the next pick we got? The 80th, what we
50,
got?
I think it's 50, 80, and after that, I don't know after that.
But you give me your top 5, man. Your dream scenarios if you can go that deep.
Space.
Yeah, I don't know.
Putting you on the bubble, man. Putting you on the bubble. You got a Edmonds out there. You got a Ridley kid. You got
my dream scenario would be Roquan Smith falls to 19. That's probably the number one thing.
All right, so now I'm going to get into you a little bit. So you said Roquan. Why?
Because I just feel that and I know a lot of people say that he plays Sean Lee's position, so why would you draft him if you know that you're going to have Sean Lee, at the same position? My argument would be you don't have that confidence you had with Sean Lee anymore. You don't know if he's going to stay healthy anymore. So my argument would be, sorry, go ahead.
No. So you're saying you put Jalen Smith going to play the mic, right? Middle linebacker. So you'll put Roquan at the weak side, and you say, okay, we good for like the next 10 years.
Well, I'm not going to say that 100% certain that we would be, set, but I will tell you that I feel that you need another linebacker to solidify this core, and I feel that Roquan Smith can bring it because, that whole experiment we had with, what's his face, Rolando McClain, we all know how that turned out.
Yeah.
So.
I can't argue with you. I just try to see where you're pulling that information from. So who the next guy you would think you'll roll with?
At 19?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Will Hernandez. Because this is what's happening. He was projected to go around the second round, but his stock's slowly rising. And I think he's going to end up being a first rounder because someone's going to try and get that need to fill their offensive guard / line position. And I feel that, hey, he's played the left guard position quite well. I've heard that he's had, the size of his hands and sometimes his technique, apparently. I haven't looked too much into it, but I will tell you that getting an offensive guard to solidify the line, I think that would be perfect.
Man, Zeke would try to kiss you, man, if you can get somebody like that. But all right, so what about the actual second round pick? What would you try to get with that,
Now, a lot of people tell me, getting a tight end in the second round is a bit crazy, and they're like, "Why are you taking Mark Andrews?" But my thing is that
here we go.
You're saying no, but
here we go.
I'm saying now. I will tell you this. I personally, from what I've seen from Mark Andrews, I know that we've talked about it earlier that maybe he's not necessarily the best pick. But I can tell you that at some way, somehow, the Cowboys have to address tight end in this draft. And
I agree there.
And, I'm not saying that there aren't any other good guys. You got, what's the guy's name?
Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst. You got Mike Gesicki out of Penn State. The guy with, what's the guy with 9 fingers? I don't know.
Damn, it's a guy with nine fingers?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wisconsin tight end, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, I'm not opposed to – I wouldn't be upset if they took him in the second round, but I'm not going to be shocked if they don't. But I think that, hey, go big or go home. But
oh, wow. So, hey, that's not a popular choice for a tight end in the second round. But, hey, guys, we need somebody that can stretch the field. So we're just going to do a quick third round guy for you, Space, and then we're going to go over to Derek. Third round guy, if you can pull one out of the hat.
Well, third rounder.
DJ Moores of the world, the Anthony Miller, and wide receivers.
Memphis, Anthony Miller.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think you can hit receiver later in the draft because I feel it's that deep.
Wow.
But
mm-hmm.
But I personally think that you don't need to get a receiver early based on how deep the draft is. Now, if it wasn't as deep, I would make the argument, you go receiver here. But I think that what's the kid from Texas A&M or Armani Watts?
Chris,
right?
The safety, yeah.
The safety. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I just feel that at the end of the day, I can't really have a 100% like, hey, I wanted to go this way, not to try and say like, oh, everything I just said was meaningless. It's because I don't know what the Cowboys are doing this offseason. So I can't. Right. Yeah, so
it is still too soon though, because you never know, because they got a little piece of a free agency right before the draft. But hey, that's your guys right there. All right, so Derek, if you had the first 5 dream scenarios or first 3 picks with the Cowboys, who would you kind of like lean toward? I know it's early, I know it's premature, but who are you looking for? Like defense, offense? What are you looking at?
My preference would probably be to look defense at 19. If there are exceptions, it depends on what falls kind of to you, like if maybe you take a Will Hernandez if it's there. Otherwise, if we're talking like dream scenario, I still am really high on Vita V. Is absolutely not to make too much of a pun, but has a lot of dog in him that I like. I definitely I would be on board with that. If we're looking beyond that, I am looking at the receiver crop. I am very interested in a guy like DJ Moore as well. Christian Kirk, of course, but it just depends. It's hard to say.
I don't know if I lost you guys, but
I'm right here.
Okay.
No, I'm here.
You're just going in and out like we in the Matrix. So yeah. So he said a defensive guy like Vita Vea, and then he said Christian Kirk. Man, my God, man, that would be nice for this team. A Christian Kirk, man, I just know he's only 5'11", but he can be the next man. I would just be elated, But Big game. Who's your first 5 or top 5 or first 3 draft selections that you would just go nuts out? You just take your hat off. You'll go crazy. You'll throw stuff around. What would you do, man?
Oh, well, I already know mine. My first #1 pick, I said it last week. Tremaine Edmonds is my #1 guy. He's a freak of an athlete. He's only 19 years old, 6'5", 250 pounds. I'll just have them visions of Orlando McClain, over 200 tackles, 35 tackles for loss. Man, this kid is, I'm telling you, man, this kid, long arms, and he plays with his length. He's a guy that goes up on there and he hits you. He's not afraid of the contact. He does not play around. That would be my first one. My second round pick, I'm going with Will Hernandez. We can address that draft, the guard position. We need it. I mean, he's over there kicking it with La'el Collins and Tyron Smith already. He's already saying, I want to be a Dallas Cowboy. We need a guard. He doesn't have the greatest feet, but we need that good bull, that good strong strength that Ron Leary was bringing to the table that Hernandez can bring. My third round pick would be Michael Gallup from Colorado State. I don't know if y'all know about him, but he's a 6'1", 200-pound receiver. Nice, great hands, good route runner. Not like super fast, but fast enough. But he's one of those guys that can come in and be a solid #2 right there and right now.
Can he get separation? Can he get separation?
Yes, he definitely gets separation. Matter of fact, check out his games. I think one of his highlight games, I think he played Oregon State. I think he had like 13 catches, 150 yards. Great player. I'm telling you, he's a really good player. I've seen a couple blogs on him. I started really looking at him, and he's the type of guy that I want to play really good in that Senior Bowl too. As a fourth round, what's up, Derek? He back.
All right.
For our fourth round pick, I was wondering what I wanted to do and if I wanted to go with safety or defensive tackle. But for the fourth round pick, I'm going to go defensive tackle, and I'm going to go with Harrison Phillips. Big defensive tackle from Stanford. He's like 6'3", 330-some pounds. I think we need a big space eater eventually that we need to address. I know we got the guys that can interchange so much on our line, but we need one guy that's a space eater. We got a kid Price that we grabbed off from Green Bay, and he played pretty well for us before he got hurt. But I think we need another guy that can just really take on 2 people and free up our linebackers. And then for our last pick, I'm going to pick this kid from BYU, Fred Warner. 6'3", 230 pounds, fast, sideline to sideline, great athletic player, great in space. Guy can actually great intercept the ball. And if you got a Tremaine Edwards and a Fred Warner, you can interchange those guys, and you're getting a Harrison Phillips, and you got your boy Will Hernandez. I feel like, and you got Michael Gallup. I feel like you addressed everything in that first rounds, baby. Holla at me.
Boy, jeez. I mean, put those measurables again. I said, you said somebody was 6'3", 323, 333.
Yeah,
who was that?
Harrison Phillips. He came from Stanford, big boy. He was slept on. He played in that Senior Bowl as well. Really big kid, and he's a space eater, and you got to watch him. I mean, those type of guys, they're not really going to get the penetration like, Vita Vea, but he's one of those type of guys that when he can occupy 2 people. We need to be able to have our linebackers to be able to be free, because a lot of times in our games, when we seen Jalen Smith and those guys, they're making tackles behind the line, I mean, after the line of scrimmage, when they're 5 or 6 yards down the line of scrimmage. We need to be able to get our linebackers tackles for losses. What's the reason why we love Sean Lee so much? Because he can read, diagnose that play, and he's in that backfield. That's the type of linebackers we need going forward.
My only thing is, man, your list. I'm talking about, man. Your list is just fantastic, man. I had to go back. I'm gonna replay this video, and I'm gonna go back line by line. I'm gonna do like the Bible verse, line by line, precept upon precept, and I'm gonna go look and study these guys. If they hit and fall like that, man, I'm coming for you, man. I'm coming for you, man, because I'm like, yes. You spoken into the existence, man. But the thing is,
this is Lord.
Yes. Shut about a Honda. Hey, the thing is now, if you get a Tremaine, what's his name? Tremaine.
Tremaine Edmonds. That boy is nasty. Law. When you say his name, I get excited again. When you say his name, I get excited again.
Tremaine.
Man, you did that tape on him. You seen him.
I saw.
Bosch did that tape on him too. I mean, dude is 19 years old. You understand that? He's a junior. That means he was blowing up people at 16 and 17 wrecking shop. He's 19. Even when he's drafted, he is still 19 years old, meaning he is still growing into the position. Yes, he has some little things that he needs to work on, but when you get him in the fold with that size, 6'5", 250, and you can put him in, then you can line Jalen Smith next to him, and you can have a Sean Lee in there, and then let's say we draft a Fred Warner, who's another fast-sized linebacker. Man, speed.
That's why I wish we were 3-4. But
oh.
But I'm just saying. So you get him, you'll kick. Who gonna kick over to the weak side?
Weak side. I mean, honestly, Sean Lee, he stays on at the will, so we'll keep Sean Lee at the will. And at the strong side, you can interchange. If you have Edmonds, you can interchange him and Jalen Smith, because you know they were putting Jalen Smith at the mic. But honestly, you can keep Jalen Smith at the mic and put Tremaine at the strong side. Tremaine can play any linebacker position. He's that good. But because of that size and that thumper ability, you can put him at a strong side and Mike. And like I said, you can interchange him and Jalen Smith. And I feel like he's only going to make those other guys better. And then when you have a teacher like Sean Lee who can teach the game, because I feel like Jalen Smith was better when Sean Lee was in there, because Sean Lee was helping Jalen Smith. Much like when we was talking about Romo helping Dak, it was Sean Lee helping Jalen Smith, getting him even more comfortable in that role. And I feel like that brought him along even better, along with coming off the bench and not starting as much.
Man, you guys got me pumped up, man. Can it be football?
I'm ready to watch some football.
They ready to watch some football. I'm about to put up some old clips out there, man. Yes, indeed, man. So, hey, if we wind everything down, I really thank everybody for tuning in to the show. It's been a success, man. It's been a fantastic show altogether, man. We talked football. We had Vach in there regulating the chat box. Maybe next time I need to chime Vach in so we can hear his thoughts too.
Bring Vach because that's the man. I gotta hear Vach. I gotta be able to talk to Vach. Like,
let's see if he's still in the God. Let's see if Vach, because he got the national people tweeting and saying they gonna have to look at Vach tape, man, and all this stuff. Vach, man, if you still in the box, let me know. Say something, man. Yell out, somebody. Let me know if he's in the box, and I can send him the link. If he's still there, we're gonna give him. Okay. We got My Cowboys family. Salute to you guys. Go follow their page too as well. Very in-depth knowledge about the football and what's going on with the Cowboys. I think Vach probably left out, man. But as we close out, man, my guy, Derek, tell us what's going on. Tell everybody where we can find the Dallas Prospect Show and things of that nature.
The website is thedallasprospect.com. You can find us on Twitter at Dallas Prospect. We are a sports and pop culture website with an eye focused towards Dallas sports, but we also got you covered for things like college football and all that. Always looking for more contributors. We got guys who cover OU. We got guys who cover the Thunder even. So it's the eye towards Dallas, but we really got just kind of this general area and all that. And if I can find some people who want to write some Longhorn stuff, James, all for
got
it.
one coming tomorrow. It's on the press. It's hot off the press. It's like it's like a waffle. It's like a waffle coming. It's gonna taste so good when you get it.
Ooh,
I had a feeling, but find us on Facebook, the Dallas Prospect. Yeah, pretty much it.
That's what I'm talking about. My guy from Wade to the East Coast, man, the East Side, Space. Where they can find you at, man? Talk to us.
All right, if you want to find me, make sure to check me out at SpaceCowboys17 on my YouTube channel. It's pretty simple. And if you want to follow me on Twitter as well, I'm not really that big on social media, so I don't really care. But yeah, just a shout out to Law for having me on. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Yeah, so just go ahead and check me out, and that'll be greatly appreciated.
No doubt, man. No Instagram. No.
Nah, I don't do that, man.
What's the other one they got out there? The snippet. The what's that thing? Throw it an S. Snapchat. You don't Snapchat?
Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
God, I thought everybody did Snapchat these days. My brother from another mother, no other. Don't look like Danny Glover, but keep it cool over there on the Facebook page. Where can they find you at, man? Where can they find you at? Big James, where they find you at, man?
Hey, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube. We got a Silver and Blue Nation on YouTube, Instagram, Silver and Blue Nation Live, Twitter, Silver and Blue Nation. Also, we also have another network, EBSN Online, where we actually do our shows as well on Sundays. You can check us out every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We stream live, talking Cowboys all day. Jump in there. Everybody can talk. You can call into the show. It's all about the fans. For real, for real. It ain't about us. It's just all about the fans. We just talking Cowboys football on the latest and greatest things that's popping. And also, you can check me out on my Big Game James page on Facebook as well. I'm just bringing the raw on my page. So if you don't like the raw, stay off my page because I'm going ham on there.
Yes, we're not going to keep it PG-13 there. So, my God, Derek, we was talking about a situation where we're going to be live in the flesh where people can physically touch us. Where would they can find that? Where's that going to be at, man? Talk to us about that,
Yeah, man. So next month, it is Thursday, March 22nd. We are going to be in Plano. So far, we know you're there. I'm there. Big Game James going to be there. We might have his man in coming as well. But we are going to be at Megzy Go Restaurant and Club in Plano. It's a nice Mexican restaurant. We're going to have a nice deal. If you come in, tell them that you're there for Dallas Prospect. You get food and drink specials. Then we're going to be doing a live remote.
Yes, indeed. So
I feel just special.
Yes. We're going to have everything going in the right direction. So, ladies, if you're in the chat box, first round's on me, right?
I got you.
Just
too.
play.
Paycheck going to be nice. My paycheck going to be nice. I got you. If Law might be playing, I ain't.
Oh, he ain't. So, look, be ready. Be ready. So, that's all our time, guys. I really thank you guys for tuning in. Remember,
I appreciate you, Big Law. I just want to give a shout out to Derek, Space Cowboy, Law Nation, finally being able to talk with y'all. Much respect to all y'all's work that y'all do, and just like I said, I've been very grateful to allow me to be able to speak on y'all with y'all today.
Yes. Oh man, I got to touch one more thing. We talk so much Cowboys. I hate for us to leave. What are your thoughts on Emmanuel Sanders before I go? And
bring his ass on. Am I allowed to say ass?
Come on, it's
bring your ass.
Bring your ass. Get your ass. All right. Yeah. Salute, guys. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. We're out. Peace.